All right, welcome back to the San Diego Spotlight, where we shine the light on business leaders around San Diego County. I'm your host, Elizabeth Story, bringing you the inside story. I'm here today with Gregg Cantor from Murray Lampert Design, Build, and Remodel, and Kim Morrison from 105.7 Max FM. So let's get back into a little bit of industry insight, and Gregg has a tip for us when it comes to dealing with insurance companies and proof of insurance. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, well, contractors are required by state law to have workers' comp insurance. That can be verified online at the Contractors License Board website, cslb.ca.gov. But liability insurance is not required. And I would never recommend going with a company that doesn't have both workers' comp and liability insurance. And I highly recommend asking the contractor to have their agent send the certificates of proof of insurance to you. That should be one of the first things that you ask for.
And let me tell you a little bit why that's so important, because if one of their subs or their employees gets injured on your property and they don't have that liability insurance, you can end up being liable for it as a homeowner.
Right.
So it's a very big deal to make sure that all that is in place.
Absolutely. The other thing to be cautious of is sometimes companies will say they're exempt from workers' comp insurance, which is highly unlikely. That would mean that they're just a single person, sole proprietor. They don't have to insure themselves. But most trades, most people in construction have, workers, or there's crews and everything. So I would be very skeptical of a company that says they're exempt from workers' compensation.
Geez, I'm listening to you and I'm overwhelmed by all the stuff you have to know. So maybe there needs to be like a Gregg checklist.
We have a checklist.
Okay, done it all, we're good to go.
And you can find that on your website?
On our blog,
on
our blog, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll make sure to post that information on our website so listeners can find that. So we've touched on it a little bit. Let's delve into this a little bit more. Can you talk a little bit about what are subs, what are vendors, what are partners? What does that all mean, and how do you all work together?
Okay. Well, most companies like us, design build companies, have either all subcontractors or mostly subcontractors and maybe project managers and a few carpenters. That's pretty much typical in our industry. There aren't too many companies that have all payrolled people. So that isn't a bad thing to have subcontractors. The difference is to make sure that the company's not just bidding your job out to 10 different subs for every different phase of the project, because then the quality control is not maintained.
Right, and it's people who maybe don't work with each other on a regular basis, don't know how each other works.
Right on the nose, because our subs have been with us. Some of them have been with us for 35 years, and we all work together as a team. Even though they're independent, they're like employees, because we work together. We all know, if the granite guy's coming in, the cabinet guy knows how to build the cabinet so that the granite guy can install his tops and not have any problems.
And that's really important, that gelling of working together as professionals and knowing the timelines and the time frames.
Has anybody ever come to you and said, okay, here's the deal. I need my kitchen, I need my bathroom, I need it done in like a week or 2 weeks. Has anybody done that? Because you see these home shows, these reality shows on TV where they transform an entire house in like a week.
Yeah, that's a fairy tale.
Oh.
And I just laugh when people say that. But people a lot of times are not realistic because they haven't gone through a remodel and they don't know how long it's going to take. But probably the quickest remodel would be a bathroom, and that's still going to take 4 to 6 weeks if it's a major bathroom remodel.
Yeah, it's a big deal. It's really important to get to know what you're getting into.
But those shows are so staged, and they don't have inspections. And they have, they use, things are all prefab, and they really streamline it.
Yeah, and never mind that 2 weeks where they were building and it shows it as a 2 minutes on air, right?
Right.
Now, what about the permitting process? Do you help your clients with that?
Well, that's all part of our service. So we have an architect on staff that does the design development and the working drawings. Then we submit to the city, and we track it all the way through until we have the permit in our hand. That's for any kind of project, whether it's a kitchen, major tear down, remodel, in the coastal area or not.
Now, not a lot of construction companies have architects on staff, so I bet that's one of the many ways, all those long-term partners that you've worked with and having an architect on staff, I bet that's one of the ways that you add value by helping to keep the costs down and the quality up.
That's right on the nose too. I mean, it's just a major asset for us and our clients, because instead of going to an independent architect and then bidding it out, and you don't know you're getting the same quality from every bid, we have the pricing up front. And usually it just comes down to features and different design schemes, but we get to the price that our clients want to get to.
Nice. What's the most elaborate job you've ever done?
Well, we have one in design development right now that's pretty elaborate. It's a whole house remodel. And we've done, many tear downs where we've torn down to just a couple walls, and then rebuilt a 2-story with everything all new. We've had a couple historical houses we've worked on. Actually,
fun.
Yeah.
Where around the county did you do that?
The most recent one we did was in Bankers Hill.
Oh, okay.
And it was a pretty elaborate 2nd story with decks and really, really old house.
Have you seen the Top Gun house in Oceanside? It's the one right there on the corner where Top Gun was filmed, and it's just barely still standing.
Now I remember what it looked like.
Yeah,
though.
so I guess they're going to develop that area, and I guess they had tried to move the house, but rumor has it kind of started falling apart when they tried to move it.
I could see that.
Is that anything you guys could ever salvage?
I mean, it could be pieced out, but not completely moved.
Not
I don't
completely
think.
moved.
Yeah.
But are people now turning more to remodeling as opposed to selling?
Well, yes, definitely. And there's a lot of people that have just been waiting on the fence, and now that things are getting good again and values are going up and financing is starting to improve, now people are ready to do it.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I just read an article this morning about the value of home improvements rising. Actually, for the first time in almost a decade, Remodeling Magazine's Cost versus Value Trend Report stated that the trend has risen. It's jumped over 5.5 points in the last year, and the largest increase since 2005. So people are definitely starting to put money back into their homes again, and those investments are definitely paying off. What do you think about that?
I definitely see that. I mean, because we know real estate has started to go up again in value, and there's just a pent-up need for remodeling. People have just waited because of the economy, where it was.
Right, and especially in older neighborhoods, because as you go out to the coast, you have a lot of your older homes, and then in San Diego, as you go inland, you have a lot of your newer homes. But those people with those older homes, kind of like Kim mentioned, they've got the teeny tiny kitchens, they've got the teeny tiny bedrooms, they don't have walk-in closets. So a lot of those people are probably finally ready to start doing some of those improvements they've been dreaming about.
Can I speak to one of your improvements?
Yes.
I saw one in Del Mar. It was unbelievable. I mean, I was talking about it actually this morning. When we get new shoes and new clothes, we take it home and hang it up and we get so excited. Well, when I saw this kitchen and this bathroom and what you did to this house, I mean, I was like, oh God, I gotta go home to my old kitchen with old bathrooms, because you maintain the charm of the house, which is not all that easy to do.
Well, and it was a very small house. I remember going there the first day, and I shot my laser to measure the house to do it as-built. And I could shoot it all the way across from one end to the other, which you can never do on any house because there's doorways and everything. But this was a tiny 900 square foot house that we more than doubled in size and remodeled it inside and out.
But the kitchen, honest to God, it wasn't the food that made you salivate. It was the appliances and just the craftsmanship, everything.
Nice, good work. Okay, well, we're here with Gregg Cantor from Murray Lampert Design, Build, and Remodel, and Kim Morrison from 105.7 Max FM. Stick around, we're going to have some fastballs when you come back.
Okay.